We're going to change that breath so that it's just breathing in through our nose and out through our nose. Think as we breathe in, close off the throat and the back and feel that heat come out through your nose again. And now changing the focus even more so in our breath to think about filling up our belly, then our ribs, then our chest, then exhale out, chest, ribs, belly. Sitting up nice and tall, belly, ribs, chest, ribs, belly. These are our belly breaths we'll see throughout class today. I'm going to have you start to bring your arms in as we go through here. So big inhale up, feel the belly, ribs, chest. Press the shoulders down, exhale out, chest, ribs, belly. And we got a definite helper in here today. Next time we're up at the top, I'm going to have you grab onto your thumb with your right hand and really feel yourself extend all the way up to the ceiling. Pulling out with the thumb and lifting the shoulders, covering our ears. A few breaths here as we elongate the spine. One more inhale up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, come up, grabbing onto the left hand. Left hand grabs onto the right thumb and we pull out this way. Feel those deep belly breaths. Feel yourself extend through the spine. And I want you to feel the tension. Feel yourself pulling away with the shoulder blades, almost trying to pull the shoulders out while we're lifting our hands up. It's going to feel a different sensation through our triceps as well. Next, inhale. Exhale out. Right hand comes down towards the ground. Left hand reaches up and over. Pressing through the left hip, feeling ourselves elongate through our lats, through our shoulders, through our obliques. And then I'm going to have you open your shoulders up to the ceiling, taking your left hand behind you, bringing it around, bringing it up to the front, and making some circles here. Feel yourself open your shoulders up as your hand reaches behind, and then come back to neutral as it comes forward. We're starting to feel a little bit of a different motion through our rib cage, through our back. And then your next time we're going to come back, we're going to take the top of our hand to the small of our back and open our elbow up to the ceiling or maybe even to the side wall. Feeling that nice stretch through the anterior part of our shoulder, so through the front part of the shoulder and the pec, gaze is up over our shoulder. Breathing through this stretch here, still feeling that length in the spine. Unwind, bring our hand back through the center, sitting up nice and tall on an inhale. Exhale, let's take it over to the other side. So taking it up and over, pressing our right hip into the floor, shoulders open in front of us. Big inhales, big exhales. Let's start to flip our palm up to the ceiling and open our shoulders up to the ceiling and rotate it all the way around. So bring it. Thumb goes back, it twists. Feeling yourself open the shoulders up to the ceiling as we reach back, and then bring yourself back forward, reaching as far as we can forward. This is really starting to mobilize the shoulders here. We're going to try some different exercises here today, and we may be using our shoulders a little bit more than you're used to. But just finding how this feels to really open up the upper body. Next time our hand is back, we're going to take the back of our hand to the small of our back, opening our shoulders up to the ceiling, bringing our elbow far behind to a point of a little bit of a stretch, but never too much discomfort, never pain. If we have tight shoulders, if we're just right here, we're right here. That's okay. One more deep breath. And then bringing your thumb back towards the center, up and over through that side bend stretch. Rising back up, clasping the fingertips this time, reaching as tall as we can. And thinking about trying to get our palms behind our ears, gaze is lifted. We're going to start to go through those side bends here, but we're also going to bring it through the front and rise it back up to the top. When we get to the top, we'll do it in reverse. We're going to take it to the side, Feel the lat stretch. Feel the stretch between our upper shoulder blades. Bring it back to the side and then back. So doing this at your own pace. Think about exhaling as your hands come forward and inhale as they align back up top behind us. So exhale, really press your palms as far forward as you can as you come forward. Core is engaged as we're moving through here. Let's do one more to each side because it feels good. And next time we're out in front, I want you to hold your hands out front. Really feel yourself draw your palms forward and slowly start to release the fingers and bring your hands down towards your knees, keeping a nice rounded back. So after rounded back, we're going to exhale here and then inhale to arch forward. So a seated cat and cow. So exhale as we round back, chin to chest. Inhale, gaze lifts, and back to forward. So allow yourself to feel your pelvis rotate on the floor here. The different parts of our sits bones contact the floor. And we're going to start to make it a little weird. So we're going to make a big circle here. So moving the rib cage in a big circle in a clockwise or counterclockwise motion, whatever feels natural to start. But still feeling those nice big circles. The different levels of our spinal contractions here. Switch up the direction. It may feel a little less natural than the other, and that's okay. Feel the belly start to warm. We just a little bit more here. And next time we're in the center, I want you to find a nice tall posture. So imagine we're sitting up against the wall, but instead of our booties tucked out, I want you to think the tailbone contacts the floor, feeling yourself engaged from the front of the pelvis all the way up to the rib cage. Take a big inhale up. Lift the rib cage. Reach as far forward as we can, still keeping that nice strong spine. And just hold. We're going to feel a stretch through our glutes. And we reach and lift the chin, lift the rib cage up and over. Deep breaths in and out. One more big inhale, reach as far as you can, and then exhale, melt into the floor. If it's available to you, we're going to roll over our knees. If not, we're just going to swing our feet around and find ourselves on all fours. As we're here, right fingertips face our knees, left fingertips face forward. And we're going to just start to rock front and back. Starting to warm up the wrists. We may try for a couple arm stands, but we'll definitely be doing some planks today here. So it's good to warm the wrists up, start to increase that mobility, get the blood flow to different parts of our body. Always remember breathing in and out through your nose, full strong breaths, guiding your breath with your movement throughout class. Next time we're neutral, let's flip it out. So right fingertips forward, left fingertips face your knees, and we rock back in front. Noticing that different range of motion, maybe left side is a little bit more mobile than right. And that's okay. We're just noticing, we're not changing anything. We're not pressing the tailbone back without arching your back and lifting the glutes. So we want to make sure that we keep that strong neutral spine front and back. And next time you're neutral, let's bring our hands back facing forward, curling the toes underneath and just hovering the knees up off of the floor. So here we're in a little puppy pose, shoulders pressed down. So I want you to feel yourself engaging in your lats by pressing your shoulders as far away from your ears and still keeping the knees off the floor. We're going to step our right foot back as far as we can, bring it back to that hover, left comes back. So think about inhale as we extend, exhale, bring it home. Inhale out, exhale in. So take it at your own breath cycle that you still get those nice, deep, strong belly breaths. Abdominals are engaged, feeling ourselves work through the shoulders, through the quads, through the glutes, through the abdominals, of course. So just marching it out here. Right foot comes back. Next time, left foot leads it back in our first high plank of the day. Your option is to take a knee if you'd like to. If not, shoulders are stacked over the wrist, glutes are squeezed. I want you to press back through your heels, feeling yourself stretch through your calves. And we're going to start to rock up top on our toes and then rock back and press our heels down. So just start to rock front and back. Nothing changes except for the angle at our ankles and a little bit of our shoulder to wrist relationship. Feeling that heat build up in our body. Give me just 3 more. Keep breathing. Last 2. Last 1. Hips go up, heels press towards the floor, and start to walk in about hip width with your feet into our first downward dog. I want you to think about bending the knees, but lifting the tailbone, and then starting to press the heels away from your hips to extend the knees as much as we can. Think of a good posture, pressing through all 10 fingers. Think about the lift of the tailbone. Gaze is between the thumbs. And we're going to go back and forth from plank to downward dog. So we're going to inhale to our high plank. Exhale, downward dog, lift the hips. So think about maybe rounding and waving through the spine. And then back up. So the shoulders take a nice big roll. Find that flat plank. And then we roll and take it back. Just a little more to go right here. And we're going to add a little bit of a change. So we're going to round it up, drop the hips, knees lifts, find our plank, find our downward dog. So adding a little bit of a spinal extension here. Reach up, take it back. If you ever need to take a break, drop your knees, find your child's pose. Three more breaths here. So inhaling forward, exhaling back. After your third round through here, I'm going to have you lift the hips, drop the knees, and find child's pose this time. We're going to walk our hands together. Right hand grabs the left fingers and tries to interlace and pull back the wrist. So it's just going to look like a little bit of a grip through and just feeling yourself stretch and flex through your wrist. Releasing that tension here, switching it over, left hand grabs right wrist. Fingers lace through. And release it all out. Here we're going to walk ourselves back up to our high plank. We've seen it already. We're going to do 1 push-up to hover the floor. So we're going to shift our weight forward, bring our elbows in, and just hover as low as we can. If you need to drop the knees, drop the knees. But we're just about 2 inches above the floor. Feel yourself squeeze in with the elbows, breathe and hold. Everything is rigid and tight and strong. Everything places down on the ground, baby cobra. So pressing your hands through the floor. If we want to lift all the way up, we can. Your goal, though, is to keep the shoulders as far away from the ears as you can. Slowly lowering down. Go through an inhale and exhale flow of lifting up through our cobra on an inhale, exhale, and coming down towards the ground. Gaze is always forward. Hands are directly underneath the shoulders, maybe a little bit wider if that's comfortable for you, maybe a little closer. But try to keep the elbows going in the same plane as the body. So we don't want them winging out. We want them coming in, tucked and engaged. And next time we're up, let's lift up as high as we can in our cobra. Shoulders down away from the ears, gaze is lifted as high as we can make it. Toes curl underneath. Bang through the knees, lift the hips, downward dog. As we're in our downward dog, I'm going to have you bring your big toes together and your heels together. So it's a nice narrow downward dog here. Right leg lifts up to the ceiling. And on an exhale, draws into our chest. Inhale, lifts back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to same elbow. Inhale, rise. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow, and we hold. So our right knee is towards our left elbow. Breathing as we hold through here. Still good plank mechanics. Just a little rotation through the core. right knee to right wrist, left toes to left wrist, and finding ourselves in this modified pigeon. People always say the goal is to try to get your shin parallel to the front of your mat. What we're going to focus on is making sure that our hips are square. So we're not sitting on either one of our legs. We're sitting up nice and tall with a nice square hip that's going in the same plane and direction as our mat. Nice deep breaths here. Or option if you want to take another challenge right here, grabbing onto our foot behind us, grabbing onto the top of the foot. If we hate it, just holding it straight down here, that's okay. Challenge is always to keep your gaze forward. Always thinking about looking forward in a direction we want to be moving. If we're binded onto our foot, let's slowly release it. Hands come down in front of us, either a little bit out wide or down to our forearms or flat out in front. So this will just allow us to deepen into our stretch through our glutes and our hamstrings, feeling a little more in those abductor muscles, so the outer part of our back. Take a notice of how this one feels. We'll see it again soon. Toes curl under behind us, hands come back towards the knees. Going to press our hips up through our three-legged dog, and both feet placed on the ground, holding here for 3 breaths. Press the shoulders into the floor as we lift the hips. After your 3rd breath, left leg lifts up to the ceiling. So heel comes behind us. Hips are still square. Big inhale to prepare. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, knee to same elbow. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow, and we hold 3 breaths. Holding nice and strong. So left knee comes up to left wrist. Left toes go to right wrist. Shoulders down away from the ears. Forward. Modified pigeon here. If you want more of a challenge, we can start to lift forward, but try not to let your hips rock out to the side. Trying to bring your right hip straight forward up to it. Think about pressing your left hip back away from your wrist. Hands can walk out a few extra inches. The hands stay back up. If you'd like to take a bind here. So just holding, being strong through this. If we hate it, just holding straight up, trying to walk our toes back. Doing a full lower body stretch. Slowly releasing. Now we walk our hands straight out forward, either down to the elbows, flat out, or just a little wider than they were before. Allow each exhale to let you melt a little more into your stretch. We spend a lot of our time sitting, so this is a really good way to open our hip flexors as well as get a nice stretch through the different muscles of our legs. Walking your hands back up, sit up nice and tall. Back toes curl underneath. Hips lift up, left leg drives to the back wall. Find yourself in your downward dog. 3 breaths, lift the hips, press the shoulders. After your 3rd exhale, we're going to bend the knees and start to walk our feet up to meet our hands. So as we're here, just hanging like a rag doll. So if that means that we're touching the ground, we're touching the ground. If not, we're a little higher, that's okay. Wherever you feel that nice content of your hips lifting up, rather than thinking about keeping straight legs, I want you to think about maybe starting with a bend and lifting up through the hips to really start to engage that stretch. Allow gravity to do its job by grabbing onto our opposite elbows and start to rock side to side. If you need to nod your head yes, release the tension of your neck. Hit your head no. And slowly start to release the hands, starting to bend at the knees and walk your hands up towards your knees. So a little bit above our knees. We're going to think about pressing our hips up and extending our spine to almost make an upside down L position. This is our half lift. As we're here, think about really rolling the shoulders down and back to engage the lats here. Think about making a long line from the tip of your head down to your tailbone. Deep breaths in. Each inhale extends the spine just a little bit more. Next exhale, we release down. Coming through our flat back to the big inhale. Mountain pose. So mountain pose, we're just standing up nice and tall. Shoulders are stacked over the hips and over the heels. As we're here, soft bend in our knees. Everything is pressed down. I want you to start to feel your feet root through the floor. So all four corners of your feet are evenly pressing the floor. So start to wiggle the big toe, walking down the rest of the toes. I want you to feel yourself gripping the floor. So if it goes right, left, if you do them at the same time, think about as if there's a towel. You're trying to scrunch that towel up and bring it all towards your toes. You feel like yourself start to grip there. And releasing it down, rocking up onto our balls of our feet. And then coming right back down, a little bit onto our heels, and then right back up. This is focused at the ankle joint. I challenge you to imagine you're stiff as a board the rest of your body so that we're not rocking our hips front and back. So a lot of times we want to put the hips in it. Think about nice and intentional coming from just the feet. You hear that crack? That's my toes and my ankles. How it feels to bring all parts of our feet in contact with the floor. Inhale and sit back into your chair pose. So a lot of times as we're going here, people want to stick their bums out. I want you to tuck it underneath as if there's that nice straight diagonal from your fingertips down to your tailbone. I'll take an inhale to rise. Exhale as we come down, try to get a little bit lower. So keep your same posture. Inhale up. Exhale, chair pose. Starting to feel the legs engage as we're here. As you try to bring your thumbs behind your head, so that everything comes back nice and strong. Take a couple more of those at your own pace. Next time we're going to come down. We're going to change it. We're going to go 3 pulses down and up and rise. So it's going to go down, up, and stand. Think about trying to make sure that our knees are going in the directions of our toes. So nothing out or in. Everything is parallel for those 3 pauses, and then we rise. So almost like a very narrow parallel squat. We're going to change it up to have a one leg balance, bring our knee up and down, switch the other one down. And so sitting back, rooting through the heels, rise, balance, use the belly, down. So find your rhythm and find your depth that makes you feel strong. We're increasing our heart rate as we go through here, but using our upper body and our lower body, major muscle groups. A little bit quicker movement. Bringing our breath in with our movement, we're also increasing that heart rate and that blood flow. Let's go one more each leg. And next time we're in that chair pose, I just want you to hold it. Can we sink 1 inch lower? We lift our arms just 1 inch higher. 3, 2, 1. Big inhale up. Inhale, half lift like we saw, that upside down L. And exhale as we come down, walking out to our high plank. As we're here, holding for 2 breaths, finding that good posture. If we need to come to the knees, we can. Going to inhale, shift forward. Exhale, hover the floor like we saw. Inhale, coming up through our cobra or our up dog. Exhale, lift our hips up into our downward dog for 3 breaths. We're coming into our sun salutation here. After that third breath, step hopper, jump your feet in to meet your hands. Rise up on an inhale. Sit back into your chair on an exhale. Inhale to rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to high plank, step hop or jump back. Inhale to shift forward and just hold for a sec. Exhale as we lower and hover. Inhale through up dog or cobra, shoulders away from the chin. Exhale to our down dog, 3 breaths. Gazes through the thumbs. And we go through it all again. So step hopper, float your feet up to meet your hands, lift and sit back in chair. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, shift. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, rise. Exhale, down dog. 3 breaths. Step hopper, float your feet in to meet your hands. Big inhale, rise. Exhale, chair. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, shift shoulders forward. Exhale, hover. Inhale. And exhale, down dog. 3 breaths here. After your third exhale, we're going to lift our right leg behind us. Exhale, bring it between our hands, rising up in our first lunge. So as we're here holding your lunge, we're going to bring our hands down as we come into a low lunge. And then inhale, coming up, straightening our legs. So it's lower down through lunge. Inhale to rise, lower down, inhale, rise. So as we're here, a lot of times people want to start to shift forward. I challenge you to make it an up and down motion. So an elevator rather than an escalator. Knees are going in the directions of our toes. Weight is in front heel and back toes. Next time we're low, let's hold it nice and low. Shoulders are back. Placing the back knee on the floor. Hands come to front knee, we press forward. Working a little bit through that ankle joint. Start to rock front and back, keeping your heel on the ground the entire time. We're going to bring our hands back down to frame our foot. Back toes curl underneath, hips lift up to the ceiling. Do a nice standing straddle here. So your front leg does not need to be perfectly straight, just to the point that it feels comfortable for you. Final challenge is bringing the belly down towards the thighs and hands come behind our feet, dropping the chest, dropping the chin. Hands come back to frame the feet, back knee drops towards the ground, rising back up with our hands. And exhale, bring the foot back through downward dog. 3 breaths. After the third exhale, inhale, left leg lifts up to the ceiling, comes through, frames our foot. We rise up through a nice low lunge. So finding your posture here, start to rock the hips forward, opening up through the back hip flexor, feeling the gaze lift up. We're going to exhale, drop to a nice low lunge, inhale to rise. If your split feels a little too far, you can always bring it in a little closer. Exhale. Inhale to lift. Allow yourself to lengthen the spine as we lift up nice and tall. Feel the quad start to talk to us a little. Let's go 2 more. And next time we're low, we're just gonna have you hold it low. Placing the back knee on the ground ever so lightly. Curl the back toes underneath, hands come to the front knee, and start to work through that ankle mobility here. So it's okay if our knee does go a little bit over our toe, as long as we feel the pressure through the heel of our front foot. Left heel lift up off the ground here. Hands come down to frame our foot. Curling the back toes underneath. We've seen it already in our standing foot stance here. Try to engage ourselves to the core. If you need to make it a little shorter, if you need to bend that front leg, feel free to do so. Think about this back hip rocking forward. So both hips are squared straight to the back. If it's available to us, flipping our palms and starting to walk back between our feet. If we hate it, stay up nice and tall. That's okay. Hands come back to frame our front foot, shifting forward, dropping the back knee again. Give me a nice big rise. Let yourself start to press the back hip forward again. Exhale, frame our foot, back knee lifts up, find yourself downward dog. 3 breaths here. We're going to go through it a little bit quicker here. So we're going to inhale, right leg lifts up. Right leg comes between the hands, chest lifts up, inhale. Exhale, frame the foot, 3-legged dog. Downward dog. Inhale, we lift left leg. Comes between the hands. Inhale, rise. Exhale, frame the foot. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, downward dog. Step hopper, jump your feet into your hands. Inhale, rise. And sit back. We're going to go through that whole thing, putting both together. So inhale up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right leg between hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands for your feet. Inhale, right legged lift up. 3-legged dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left lifts. Exhale, left between hands. Inhale, chest rises. Exhale, chest lowers, frame foot. Inhale, left foot to the ceiling. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step hopper, jump feet into meet hands. Rise up. Holding our chair nice and close. So bring our big toes together, hips shift back. We're just going to hold here for a few moments. Start to notice how our breath feels. Start to notice how the heat in our body feels as we're holding. As our hips shift 1 inch lower, right leg kicks behind us. We're going to move into our warrior 2. So back toes come either to the front corner of the mat or out to the side. Hands come out to a T position. Weight presses forward. Hips are open, nice and wide. As we're here, we're going to inhale, lift the rib cage, shift it forward, and exhale, we're going to reach to the back wall. So left hand back behind right hip, and we hold. Think about our weight still shifting forward. That front knee presses out towards the pinky toes. Inhale, reach 1 more. Exhale, forward fold over top. So feel yourself trying to press your elbow in towards your knee. So your knee presses out towards our pinky toe. Gaze is lifted into the inner arm. 1 more deep breath here. We're going to start to extend the front leg, reaching our hands out to that T position before in a triangle pose. Trying to get our shoulders open nice and wide. If we need to be up on our leg a little more, we can, that's okay. Take a nice deep breath. Walking our hands to frame our foot, like we've seen it before. Bringing both hands towards the inner side of our foot and start to walk through center through a nice wide stance here. Good move. And as we're here, toes are facing the front corners of our mat. We're going to start to press our hips back, knees come out, and then come right back up. So think about inhale down, extend the spine. Exhale, lift the hips to the ceiling. Hips down and lift. If it's uncomfortable for you, you can take a little bit of a closer stance. And I ask that we try not to lock our knees completely at the top. Really got to be nice to our joints here. As we lift up this time, I'm going to have you grab onto your elbows, rock side to side. Release the hands down, that one a little closer to the floor, and start to walk your hands over to meet your right foot, shifting the angles of your feet so your right toes are facing the flat line of your mat, and your back toes are facing the front left corner of your mat. We're just holding in that nice strong stance here. Right hand comes to the inner part of our right foot, opening our shoulders up nice and wide as we go through our triangle, our extended side angle. You guys know me, I'm not Cosmic Kumbaya, I don't speak in Sanskrit. So we're just moving through some good stretches here, some good strengthening motion. Start to draw the front knee forward so that it meets our elbow. Elbows press into the knee. Pressing through the back heel, we're going to lift the rib cage into our warrior two. Shifting the rib cage forward, frame our back leg. The left arm comes behind us. So like we saw earlier with the back of our hand and the small of our back, opening our shoulders, gaze and chest is lifted. Staying bent through our front knee. Unwinding back to warrior two, we've seen it. Bringing the left hand through, popping the back left toe. Setting our feet together. We've seen chair pose. We're going to do it one more time. Holding it here. Left leg kicks behind us. Warrior one, bring it out to warrior two. Shift the rib cage forward. Exhale to our reverse warrior. Inhale, bring it forward, extending it over. Hips lift, extend through the knees. Shoulders find the floor. Walk our hands out through the center, holding here. Bringing our stance a little bit closer. Let's go through nice low squat. Lift the chest and lift the hips. So lift the chest and lift the hips. Focus on the knees pressing out, the glutes engaging from the outer parts of our hips. And rising it back up. Hands walk towards the left foot. Shifting our hips to face the front side of our mat. Left hand to left inner foot. Right hand lifts to the ceiling. Exhale, bending at our front knee. Inhale to lift our fingertips up. Find our warrior two again. Right hand pivots forward. Find our low lunge. Step back to chair pose again. We've seen it. So we're holding here through our chair. Pelvis check. Is it tipped back? If it is, tuck it forward. Think about everything engaging through the belly. Big inhale, rise. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, low plank cover. Inhale, rise through cobra. Exhale, toes curl under, hips draw back. 3 breaths through our downward dog. After your third exhale, dropping the knees down, finding ourselves through child's pose. As we're here, start to walk your fingertips to the front right corner of your mat, sitting back into the left hip. Fingertips come back through the center. Let's take it over to the left corner, sitting back into our right hip. Hands come back into center, rising up onto all fours. We've seen it already. We did some seated cat-cows. We're just going to do some for all fours cat-cows. So we're going to exhale, draw our belly button, spine, chin to chest. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the shoulders, lift the chest. So a few of those at your own breath cycle. Think about exhaling, drawing the belly button to spine, and exhale, let it all melt towards the floor. Rising up one more time. And finding our neutral spine, curling our toes underneath, and finding our high plank. So as we're here, we've seen this already. Think about how we're going to make this feel different. Do we feel like we have a rounding through our back? Do we feel like it's arching down? Think about everything staying nice and tight and flat. Right big toe comes up to right pinky finger. Left big toe comes up to left pinky finger. And find yourself in a nice deep squat. So as we're here, elbows are pressing through our knees. If we're up a little higher, that's okay. But I want you to focus on the knees pressing outwards, all 10 toes on the ground, and our shoulders are back. So as we're here, we're just gonna rock side to side. Seeing how this feels right here. Then I'm gonna have you bring your right hand to your left foot and left hand lifts up towards the ceiling. Bring it back through the center. Left foot to right, or excuse me, left hand to right foot. And right hand lifts up behind us. Bring it back through the center one more time. Sitting up nice and tall as you can go. Right hand comes behind us, left hand comes behind us, and we're sitting on our bum. We're just gonna finish with a couple core strengthening exercises, get a good stretch in, and then maybe we'll finish with a little relaxation here. So we're gonna sit up nice and tall. We're gonna start to rock back onto our tailbone so that we find ourselves in a nice V position here. So our thighs are going up to the top corner of the room in front of us, and our shoulders are going back to the back corner. I'm gonna ask that we try to lift our feet up off of the ground. If we feel like we can hold those angles, trying to extend the legs out, and the hands come next to our thighs. Shoulders pressed down, think about lengthening the spine, chin is lifted. We're just gonna hold it here. This is our boat pose. And I'm gonna ask you to open up 2 inches and then come back in. So it's just lower and lift. If we want to, we can do it right here with bent knees. We're finding that control. We may shake, that's okay. Find your challenge, find what makes you feel strong, and find a way that we can exhale out any discomfort we have. Inhale really big, exhale it all out. And next time we're at that low position, I'm just gonna have you go as low as you can. So that your toes are still off the ground, your shoulders are back, your gaze is lifted. Like a nice strong core right here. Knees come into chest, we roll out, shake it out on the ground. And as we're rocking side to side, let's change it so that we're rocking front and back. We're gonna try to just sit up without our feet touching the ground. So just roll, relax, and then find yourself sticking at the top without our feet touching the ground. We're gonna add a little bit of a change today. So we're gonna rock forward and try to stand up. We're gonna come up. We're gonna do it through chair pose. Try to get all the way down to the ground. Roll back. If you hate it, if you need to stop in between, stop in between. Just gonna try for a couple of those here. And if you want to just stick to the rolls, just stick to the rolls. That's all right. Do one more. Here we all try. And when you're back on your back, I'm just gonna have you hold it on your back. Knees come into our chest. Knees open nice and wide. Grabbing either the inside of our calves, our ankles, our heels, or our big toes. Start to draw the knees into our armpits, a little bit outside. Knees come outside of our shoulders and we rock side to side here. This is our happy baby. We're going to start to extend the right foot out and bring it right back in. Left leg comes out. Left leg comes back in. These are really good stretches to do before we go to bed. Hip opening exercises are usually really helpful. Nice and relaxing as we're here. And then one final time, we're going to try to extend both. So if that just means that we're bringing our feet up parallel to the ceiling, trying to pull down through the arches of our feet. Bring everything back to center, closing our knees off, and walking ourselves out to a lying down position. We're just going to finish with a little relaxation here. So I want you to find yourself comfortable. So if there's anything sticking out, like a tag or anything that's bothering you, fix it right now. Find yourself comfortably lying down on your back. Start to bring our focus into our feet. I'm going to have you 2 times squeeze your feet as hard as you can. So curl the toes as if you're trying to grip something for dear life, and then let it go. So we'll do that. Inhale, squeeze everything in your feet. Exhale, let it go. Bringing that focus down into our calves now. So the muscles at the bottom part of our legs. I'm going to have you point your toes as hard as you can, feeling yourself engaged through the calf muscles on an inhale. Exhale, melt into the floor. Trying that again. Inhale, really squeeze the calves as hard as you can, and let it go. That energy then comes up into our thighs. So I'm going to have you think about really extending through the quads. So imagine if you're straightening your legs completely, the muscles in our thighs are really engaging here on your inhale. Exhale, they melt down. Try that one more time. Squeeze the quads. Release it down. That movement and that thought now comes up into your glutes. So we're lying down on our glutes right here. Think about squeezing your glutes as tight as you can. Exhale, let it go. One more time, squeeze the glutes. Hold for just a second, then you exhale it out. Focus now comes into our core, so our abdominal muscles. Think about inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze everything. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, squeeze the abdominals, press your back into the floor, hold for a second, and release it out. Now we'll start to think about our shoulders. So it's coming up through the center of our body. Think about shrugging the shoulders up and back. Inhale, feel all of that tension where we hold it all the time. And then exhale, let the shoulders melt down. Next, inhale again, shoulders squeeze up and back. And release down. Allowing that to now flow through our arms. Hands come into a nice tight clenched fist, squeezing onto anything you want to let go, because right now we can let it go. Anything that may be remaining in that feeling we're holding on to, squeeze it all out, squeeze it, scrunch it up, and let it go. And then finally, we bring that focus into our face. So no one's watching, so I want you to think about on your inhale, squeezing your face, making it as small as you possibly can, and then allow your face to relax and the muscles to go down towards the floor. One more time, squeeze your face as tight as you can, scrunch it, and let it go. We're going to do 2 more full body squeezes right here. So anything that's been tensing you up, anything right here, I want you to squeeze it on your next inhale. So hold everything, every single muscle, squeezes and tightens. You are in control. Exhale, let that all out. You got one more right here. So everything comes in, squeezes as tight as you can. Hold on to it for one final second. This is the last time you're holding on to it. And then you let it go. Right now, we're fully melted into the floor. Starting to let go of everything here. Noticing how the belly rises and falls with our breath. Notice the sound that your breath makes here. You notice of how strong you are. Think of one good thing that's happened this week for you. one thing you're proud of, one thing you can look back and smile at. Notice that feeling you had. I know that you can take that feeling with you throughout the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Hold on to it for just a few more seconds. We're going to start to bring our right hand up over our head, bending at the knees ever so lightly, rolling over to the right side of our body in our nice side planks pose. Our hips are stacked, our shoulders are stacked. Once we're ready, we're just going to bring our hands up to find yourself in our comfortable seated position, swinging our feet around to where we need to be. So I do want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. It was really fun. I think it was a good class. If you have any sort of feedback or anything, please let me know. But I do hope you have a great rest of your day and week. Give me one inhale and exhale here. Hands into heart center and namaste. Thanks, guys. So any feedback at all, you guys know where to find me. But if not, have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend. If it's raining where you're at, I'm really sorry. So bring the sunshine that you need to see in the world.